Good morning. Welcome to Speaking of Animals. I'm Amy Cartenuto from Flagler Humane Society, here with a lovely guest this morning, Miss Cameron Moore from the University of Florida, Maddie's Fund. You have a really long title, Cameron. What's your title?
Oh, it's too long for me to remember. Okay. Sorry about that.
Anyway, she's a big wig anyway, and she's here this week doing a shelter evaluation for us. We asked her to come. This is what she does all around the country. But Cameron, first I wanted to talk about how long we've known each other and how we met through when you were up working in Jacksonville at First Coast No More Homeless Pets, right?
Yes, it's been a long time already, and I love it. It's gone by in a second.
Yes. So we met through Nicole Brose, who has also she used to host this show way back in the day, like a long time ago. Nicole was our Speaking of Animals host, and she did an amazing job, of course, because she's the Energizer Bunny. But that's how we met. And so back when you were at First Coast No More Homeless Pets, maybe start there. Tell us about you and your journey in animal welfare.
Oh, sure. So, as you said, I was at First Coast No More Homeless Pet. That was my first job in animal welfare, actually. And I've learned so much from that. And at First Coast, we were a high-volume spay-neuter clinic, but our goal was helping our city shelter not have to euthanize pets unnecessarily, right? Mm-hmm. So we started a whole lot of programs to help our shelter, and then we just wanted to ripple out and help neighboring shelters and, regionally and statewide. And then ultimately it turned into a consultation program where we help shelters all around the country. And from there, I ended up working at the University of Florida doing the same thing. So I'm all around the country. I'm in different shelters every other week. And you mentioned it was an evaluation, but we like to think of it more as like using a fresh perspective to look at opportunities of how we can work smarter instead of harder.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, that I definitely need that.
We all need that.
I'm famous for working harder and not smarter. And you're so right. Like I've been in animal welfare for a million years, and so much of what you're looking at this week is like, oh crap, I knew that. I mean, it is very good to be reminded to be, to have somebody else hold up a mirror and say like, let's make sure we're doing everything to the best of our ability. So I super appreciate you being here this week. It's been, kind of fun. I've had an excuse to go to lunch 2 days in a row. So it's been great having you here. And I know, you have, you've built up knowledge and ideas from, University of Florida. You work with Dr. Levy, you work with Keegan, shout out to Keegan. We love Keegan. And you just, so you've been able to gather all, data and knowledge and all this cool stuff that you're, helping us. And we really appreciate you being here.
Oh, so. You bet. Well, and that's I think the key is things change every single day, right? We have new ways of doing things. We have technology that can work for us, and none of us have all the resources. So what we like to do is not only are the recommendations based on like the Association of Shelter Veterinary Guidelines, but we're looking at all the great things that other organizations like yours are doing and practicing and proving that they're successful. And then we're just trying to spread that word because why should each of us try to reinvent the wheel, right?
Yes.
So.
Yeah, and one of the things that, you are going to get, I signed up yesterday, but we're going to start working with home to homes to help people. Because when somebody comes in to drop off an animal, if they have to place their animal, the first thing we always do is ask them, what can we do to help you keep your pet? And here's one more tool in our toolbox is this home-to-home. Maybe give us a 10-second explanation on what that is.
It helps pet owners make direct placements because there are times when people do need to find a home for their pet. And instead of entering a shelter, which can be very scary and loud and expose you to possibly even infectious diseases, it would be so much better to go from their existing home to their new home. And a lot of times people just need a little bit of support. And so really across the country, shelters are realizing we can help people in different ways. We don't always have to take every animal into the shelter because we all have finite space. So home to home is just a platform that helps make that direct placement.
Mm-hmm. So that's one thing we'll be starting to offer to pet owners to help them through, hopefully just finding the home for their animal themselves. That way they can meet the people that their pet is going to and make it a smoother transition for the animal. And again, we would still be there to help them through if they needed to get the animal spayed first or vaccinated first or anything. We're still the resource, just maybe not
it's a
them
win-win.
Spending the night at the shelter.
It truly is. And the fact that Flagler Humane has such an amazing reputation in the community, you have a strong following on social media, you will give that pet so much more exposure than what that initial pet owner has, because we all always say, like, start with your friends and family. And most of us have that small circle. Your circle is like 27,000 people or more. And so that really broadens their exposure for meeting new people that might be able to open their home.
Yeah, it's a good idea, and it's one of those things that having you here kind of lit a fire under me, and we're moving forward with that. We're gonna take a lot of your advice and make things better and better. Hopefully,
you will. You have an amazing team. They're very compassionate and hardworking.
Another thing that we did during your stay here, we kind of went to all of our pet stores that help us out. Thank goodness for PetSmart, Petco, Pet Supermarket. They are such a help to us, and it was cool that you got to tour where we have our cats up for adoption. And they also help us with dog adoptions as well. But cats, we have cats at all those stores all the time, and lots of adoptions through there.
Oh, for sure. And I also partner with one of your pet supermarket partners up in Jacksonville, and they are a tremendous help for me with my own rescue. And again, with stores, they're typically open every single day, 12 hours a day. They have such a broad reach, right, of visitors coming in. And also in those store environments, it's less stressful and less scary for visitors, right? Because sometimes people are like, oh, I don't want to go to the shelter. It's so sad and it's overwhelming. But pet owners don't have a problem going into a store, and whether you're there to pick up fish food or your dog's food, and then you happen to see a cat and it looks at you, and often that's all it takes, right? And then they go home with them. So
we had one adopted yesterday at PetSmart. After we went to visit, we saw Johnny, the cat. Johnny got adopted last night.
He was so handsome.
Yeah. So
awesome.
Congratulations to Johnny's new mom and dad.
Yes. You picked a good one.
Yeah. So you mentioned that you work with pet supermarkets up in Jacksonville. So tell us about your organization. You're another hat that you wear aside from University of Florida.
Oh, sure. So when I moved to Jacksonville, we had a lot of cats going into our shelter, about 13,000 cats, and unfortunately, less than 5% were actually leaving the shelter alive. And it wasn't the fault of the shelter it was just so many cats coming in. And that was before we did community cat programming. And so I got involved with the local cat rescue, and ultimately they folded. That happens. And I decided, well, I'm just going to start my own. So I formed a nonprofit. It's called Lucky Cat Adoptions. And we actually just celebrated our 20th year. I would never have guessed that I would be doing this for 20 years. And while we also partnered with PetSmart in the past, we're now in 12 pet supermarket stores, and they have helped us adopt out up to 1,200 cats a year. This year we have less cats, but they're just because shelters have less cats. And so that's why I was able to grab, I've grabbed 5 from you so far this week, and I'm planning to take another handsome boy today. Because again, there are still so many people out there acquiring new pets every day. They're just not necessarily getting them from shelters. So we want to make sure everybody knows that shelters and rescues have amazing pets.
Yes, yes, the place to go.
For sure.
Well, we're going to take a quick break, and we'll come right back. Welcome back to Speaking of Animals. I wanted to introduce a couple of more guests that we have in the studio today. We have Alfie, male rabbit, tan and white. He's here in the studio just eating some hay, chilling. And then, Cameron, you're going to introduce our other guest.
Oh, my gosh, he's so adorable. We have Adley, the guinea pig, who is a little roly-poly. And pocket pets are such great additions, right? They bring so much to you, and they're very easy to care for and take up minimal space. So you've got some great pocket pets available.
We do. We have a lot more besides these two as well. We've got a gorgeous black rabbit. We have a really unique-looking, longer-haired white and black rabbit. And we have Snowball. I think it's Snowball. Snowball was actually on the show 2 or 3 weeks ago. So Snowball is still looking for her forever home. So please come to the shelter and come see everybody. Like Cameron said, they're pretty easy, quiet.
That black and white one looks like an Oreo cookie. It's so cute.
That's a beautiful rabbit.
And you have a little cockatiel, too, I think.
That's right. We had a cockatiel brought in yesterday. The owner could no longer take care of him. So, it's people think of us as dogs and cats, but it's so much more. Of course, I did there for a while. I was plugging. We had 2 very large pigs that we finally got a home for the pigs. So you just never know. You never know what's going to come in. Everything from iguanas to spiders to you never know what we're going to have at the shelter. So, like I always say, we're open 7 days a week. Come see us. So yeah, these guys are here. They're kind of not very good talkative radio show guests, though. So they're leaving it all up to us, Cameron. So
they're a little shy.
They're a little, yeah.
But also, even if you're not in a position to adopt, come down and volunteer. There's so many great volunteer opportunities, whether it's socializing or walking dogs or, brushing cats. Like there's all kinds of things that you can do to help.
Yeah, one of my big pleas is the more volunteers we have doing especially outreach, like we just mentioned, Pet Supermarket, Petco, PetSmart, all of those stores, we could go there 7 days a week and show off our adoptable animals and help them find homes faster if we had more volunteers. So think about it. Our volunteer orientation is online. It only takes a very few minutes. Sign up and we would love to put you to work. No matter how little or how much, hopefully a lot, I'll put you to work 7 days a week if you're willing, but it's super rewarding. I'm sure, that's how I started in this 100 years ago. Did you?
Same.
Yeah.
Same. I never knew that this could actually be a job. So
you start off volunteering and, you fall so much in love with this kind of work that, it's definitely a calling and it's super rewarding. It's, I think sometimes people still think that shelter work is sad, like we were saying, but it's certainly can be. But for the most part, it's just so rewarding. So, yes, think about volunteering. We'll put you to work.
Right. There's even things I think people can do from their home, like being a pet detective, right? Like all your dogs that come in that are lost, they really had a home to start with. So it's a matter of like, how do we connect them back to their families? So sometimes it's even just, scouring the lost and found pages and looking on Nextdoor and the Ring app and just, seeing who's lost a pet and then verifying it with your website and making that connection.
Oh, that would be a little pet sleuth.
There you go.
Yeah. And then, like you say, you can do that from the comfort of your own home.
That's right.
So we are, that's one of your suggestions, since you've been touring the shelter, is that, like I said a minute ago, when an owner brings a pet in to us, the first thing we always say is, what can we do to help you keep your pet? But one of your suggestions is, even if somebody finds a pet, rather than dropping it off at the shelter and us welcoming arms, even though we tend to be busy, rather than just dropping the animal off at the shelter, bring the animal to the shelter, let us scan it for a microchip, take a picture of it, get all of your information, and then you can take the pet home and take care of it because it probably belongs to somebody 2 or 3 doors down, right?
That's right. And I think we really learned that when the pandemic started, and we were forced to close the doors for safety purposes, right? And so we had to ask people who found pets if they would hold on to them. And granted, not everybody's going to be in a position to say yes, but for those who do, we find that they're actually more likely to reunite the pet with their owner because it is wherever they found it is usually within a mile of where that pet lives. So whether they're walking it through the neighborhood, posting it on their own next door, they're going to find that owner usually quicker than we would at the shelter, which could be many, many miles away from their home. So I just think it's great. And the thing is all we can do is ask, right? And there's shelters doing this very successfully around the country. Sometimes you might hear the program called the First 48. It's like, would you be willing to hold this pet for 48 hours? Or in your situation where you have a 5-day stray hold in the city, would you be willing to hold that pet for 5 days? You'll still go ahead and vaccinate, deworm, take its picture, post it online, do all those things to get the ball rolling. But this way the pet can stay out of the shelter and hopefully get reunited. And if it does come in, then it's pretty much ready to go.
Right, ready to go. And another good thing with that too is if you do that for the pet, then when you do reunite the pet, you know who the owner is. So if the animal gets out again, it's just a quick trip back home. So, but we appreciate that suggestion, and hopefully people will help us out. So we're going to take a quick break, and we will be right back. Welcome back to Speaking of Animals. I'm Amy Cartenuto here with Cameron Moore. And so, Cameron, we're going to plug a couple of our events that we've got coming up. We have a pet photo shoot with Ernie Coy. He's one of our awesome volunteers. He takes gorgeous photos. He's going to do a holiday photo shoot for us November 16th at the shelter. It's by appointment. So if you're interested, go on our website and make an appointment. It's, like I said, he does do beautiful work. So pet photos with Ernie, November 16th. Check that out. We have our golf tournament coming up. So make sure if you golf well or not, still it's fun and it helps the animals. And it's at the beautiful Grand Haven golf club. It's a private club, so it's your chance to golf at a private club. So go on our website and check that out as well. And one other thing we have to always plug is our amazing thrift store. You got to see our thrift store the other day. It's a nice store, isn't it? We have a great staff at our thrift store. We always have sales every day. So follow our thrift store on Facebook, and that way you'll be able to see what sale of the day we're having. But we have really cool sales, and people donate really nice stuff.
I was about to say, it's a lot of really nice treasures. I saw some really great pieces the other day.
Yeah, because I always say, people donate to the Humane Society thrift store because they know it's going to help the animals. So they're donating stuff that maybe they would have otherwise kept, but this is really good. It'll bring in some money to help the animals. So, we get some amazing things, and the thrift store's open 7 days a week. We're on Palm Coast Parkway on the eastbound lane, right across from the relatively new hospital. So, definitely come see us. Cameron, thank you so much for being on the show today, and big, huge thank yous for coming to the shelter this week, spending your week with us. It's been kind of cool, right?
It's been really cool. You have an amazing team. And one thing I would say is because we're getting ready to go into the holiday season, is everybody should consider bringing a pet home for the holiday. Give them a break from the shelter, right? We all feel like we can, give a pet a break for a weekend or a couple of days. This is the perfect time of year to do that.
Yeah, home for the holidays.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then the more you can tell about the animal when they're in a comfortable environment, the easier it'll be to find them a home.
Yeah, for sure. And we might end up doing the Santa delivery thing again this year.
That'd be great.
We did that a couple of years ago, and that was fun. So
That's
if
great.
we can find a Santa, hint, 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 if anybody out there would like to be Santa and deliver adoptable pets to their homes, look me up. So, well, thank you everybody for listening today. Thank you again, Cameron, for being on the show, and thank you, Alfie and Adley, for being on the show. You're really loud guests here. It took over the whole show. Thanks everybody for listening. We'll talk to you soon.